Okay, so it's dark and we are in the lab. This is the lab that we're going to use for future episodes. Before the sun comes up, let's try to get some light up. So I'm going to hit 3, and this is one of the first little light blocks that we have. It's a small, like, little LED type strip, and then we're going to go into Build Vision. Come over to our generator over here, grab that plug, roll it over the light bulb, and then bam, there we go. You can see up in the distance I've kind of already got some stuff set up over there. We'll check that out a little bit later. I just put up this other one right here as well, so let's do that right there. Bam. Alright. And then I'm going to go ahead and just, wrap them all the way around. Power right there. And then power right there. Now that we've got some lighting in the lab, we can go ahead and take a look at some of the other blocks. So first, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the doorway. This is a doorway spinning around. Pretty basic, but again, it looks pretty good. And then let's go ahead and put one right there, just because. Now, same thing. I'm going to go ahead, go back to Build Vision, select the generator, and select the door. Same thing, generator, door, select. So in the submenu, we actually have the ability to go from manual function to automatic. What automatic will do is the door will, it'll automatically open. Or I can come up to it and select it for manual open, but I like the automatic function, so we're going to go ahead and set that for automatic. Personally, I don't like all these little rivets in the blocks. I think they look like bullet holes. I just think it's a little bitty, little much. Talking about the walls and being a little bit too much, there's one block that I don't have in my toolbar, but let's go ahead and drag it over, and that is the interior block. I'll go ahead and make that 9 for now. So this is supposed to be like an interior wall type block, obviously, but in my opinion, it is way too busy to use like as an entire wall. I don't think it looks good for wall, but I do think that it looks good for like a highlight. So if you just want to use it for like an accent, I think that's cool. I think these having like a strip or maybe like 2 strips of them on the wall, or maybe like a walk path you can. Yeah, so again, I think the interior wall block, I think it looks good when it's used almost like as an accent. I think it looks good right there too. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at a few of the windows. Let's go ahead and bring these over. We've got this the slope corner window, the arc window, but we're gonna use these flat windows in our demonstration. What is that? Yep, that's 2x3, and then a ramp window, and then we have these sloped. There we go. So one thing that I do like about the windows, one, they're completely transparent, but 2, you can put it right there, or I can put it yep. I can put it essentially on the inside or the outside, and have almost like a little windowsill. I'll demonstrate the opposite with this guy right here. So it gives you an option, or instead of having the window in the middle of the glass, it really just kind of breaks up a little bit. And to be honest, I like it a little bit more this way. I don't think that I can put it on Yeah, so I can't do like dual-sided, but it is damn near completely completely transparent. And then we've got the 1x3 window, and then we have the large 2x3. So the 2x3 window by itself I think looks pretty good. It's my personal opinion. I don't think it looks very good when it's paired up with other windows. I think it looks too busy. I think it's got too much going on. I'm going to go ahead and close this up real quick. I don't think it looks very balanced, if that makes any sense. I like that they're trying to do something, you know, different and kind of odd, but I think it looks too much. So like when I put them right next to each other, like example, you know, I've got like 3 of these little bars, you know, damn near right on top of each other. Maybe they did something cool, like maybe almost like a small octagon type, you know, shape in the center, and then maybe a couple that kind of branched out from there. At least then when you put them next to each other, they would all be, you know, be kind of the same. But I think it just looks a little bit odd. And then even if, okay, so like let's try to, you know, break it up a little bit. Let's see, nope, I need to flip it upside down. Yeah, even if I try to break it up a little bit, it doesn't. It's just too much in my opinion. Others might feel a little bit different about it, but I think the windows could use some work. And then of course you can place them. You can place them on their side, and of course, oops, just like so. So overall, I think the windows are pretty good. Like the smaller ones, I think this looks great. It's really just the 2x3 that I think they could take another look at. But yeah, so those are the windows. The next thing we're gonna go ahead and take a look at is actually the floor. So when I first saw the floor, I really liked it, and then I got kind of angry with it. So I said, hey, this floor is awesome. It looks really good. It's great for like an interior floor, or maybe like the floor for a garage if you want to make like a garage, or maybe there's going to be some sort of like an industrial type you know, type room, like you're gonna have like a refinery or whatever it is you're gonna use to reprocess the ore. It's like, oh man, this is a really great flooring. Wait, what's that? I can't put anything on top of it. Like, what is going on here? And then as I looked at it a little bit closer, I realized that the block is hovering in the air. And then I said, okay, well, clearly the block, even though it's like super thin, it takes up 1 block space, but I can't just build on the air. So I said, what would happen if I take that same block and then flip it over? I'm going to do so over here. Let's go ahead and do so right there, and now I can build on it. So I think just to maybe kind of, you know, help differentiate, they should either make the interior floor, or whatever floor this is. What is this actually called? Yeah, the actual floor. Make it a full block length, and then just you know, have like the top half a different tone or a different color. It might help make things a little bit easier. Either way, the tile is useful. It's a good. I like it, but it was a little confusing to use initially. And it would suck, especially if you're in survival and you get it all welded up and then realize you welded it upside down. That would kind of suck. Alright, so we're going to take a look at just a few more blocks. Come out here into our new little deck that we made with our little flooring blocks. So the first is these little, what are these called? These are called tripod lights. So tripod lights, there's a pretty cool little video where they have basically these kind of like scattered in a line, and there's this really crazy storm. There's absolutely zero visibility, but these lights are piercing through the storm. So much like if you've seen the movie The Martian, where they have like these lights and you kind of follow the lights, it was that kind of a almost like a navigation type system, but you can basically like have these strung out leading back to your base, and then if there's a crazy storm, even though you're disoriented, you can see these bright lights through the darkness. So let's go ahead and get this one powered up. Go in the build vision, find our generator, and boom. So one thing that I wish that you could do, and maybe this is something that's coming down the line, is I'm just going to set this one here for now, but I'm going to put this one out here as an example. And that is the ability to daisy chain. I think it'd be really awesome if I could say, hey, the primary power source is here, but I want this light to connect to this guy here, and it would, as long as this light's still connected to the power source, everything beyond the chain would still be lit. But we're gonna go. Oh, what did I do? Did I disconnect everything? I did. I disconnected those lights. But that one stayed connected for some reason. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. And then let's see if it'll reach this one out here. Too far? Too far. Yeah, it's not going to reach. Okay. Yeah, I think the distance is somewhere around like 30 blocks or so, and that's like the, you know, small 1x1. Okay, so come out of build vision. So those are pretty cool. I like them. You know, we'll leave one up. And we'll put it on automatic. So as I leave, it turns off. As I approach, it turns back on. All right. So while we are out here, we'll actually set up these little fence guys. So these are fences. Let's see. So it looks like it doesn't want to connect to this guy, but I can place it here on its own. On there, yeah, they're not really connecting. Interesting. So it looks like if they're part of a grid, they'll snap into each other. But if I build them off the grid, they don't seem to want to connect. That, or it's just what if I do this? Okay, so let's try it back again over here. Oh, yep, there we go. Okay. Again, so it looks like the whatever system they have in place to detect whether or not it's connected still needs a little bit of work. And then they've got this this corner piece. So select what it is that you want to connect it to, and then rotate. So I want this wall connected to this post, so I'm going to select the post and then rotate on it. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so the game does a pretty good job at preventing the light from shining through. So if I come through, not too bad. We'll get that connected again and connected right there. So I'm thinking what these fences are going to be used for in the future are going to be, you can obviously use them as a layer of defense, but you've got the jetpack and one could just fly over. So what I'm thinking is you'll be able to grow crops, and there's going to be, you know, creatures out roaming around. So if you had basically an area kind of you know, blocked off or designated for crops, maybe the animals or creatures, whatever they are, won't get to them. So that might be one little useful application. Another block that we've already used it on the, oh, looks like you can't place on the fence. We've already used it on the vehicle, but just for demonstration, we've got this light, which is a top mount, and then you've got the front mount light right there. And again, we're just going to build vision, power, there you go, and there you go. So you could use these, you know, on a vehicle or on the outside, maybe like in your base. I don't know. Another application that I just thought of for the lights, you could also use these as like security lights. So you put them on the outside and you have them turned off, but no, you put them in automatic. You put them in automatic function, and then if somebody's trying to sneak up on your base, you know, bam, you know, the light turns on. If you see the light turned on, you know somebody's in your area. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they detect like, you know, creatures. So if there's like a crazy space cow thing, you know, mooing along, if that would trigger. All right, and then one of the last things we have that's relatively exciting is the beacon. So the beacon is pretty cool. It's a navigational tool, but I also think you'd be able to have or find like other applications for it. For example, you could use it to communicate to, you know, maybe allies. You could say, hey, let me get rid of that. You know, you could say, you know, green means you're good. You know, you could do, you know, blue saying, hey, like you need supplies or let's meet up or something. You know, yellow means you're gone. I don't know. And then green means you're good. I think there was isn't there a red? No, there's no red. RGB, but there's no R, unless that's supposed to be red. It's really more of a yellow. But yeah, so you should be able to see this from a very far distance, and especially later on when the game further develops and you're in space, this will be a awesome, you know, navigational tool. So you've got your ship way out in space and you're coming in, and this beacon is going to allow you to zero in and hone in on your base for landing. So that should be pretty cool. And then the last thing that we have is this rotating plate and the hinge. So actually, let's do something kind of fun here. What do we got? Let's grab one of these. Let's do it, yeah, right here. So let's put a rotating hinge right there. Nope, we're gonna go one lower. Rotating hinge. We're gonna bring this block out, and then we're gonna put a spotlight on top of it. And then here, just because I can. All right, let's get it all powered up. Let's see, we got bam, bam, and bam. Oh, power up. There you go. And then I'm just gonna. What's going on? What's going on? All right, and then I'm just gonna run like as fast as I can at it, and then it should just spin. There we go. There we go. I now have a working rotating spotlight. Except it's not entirely a truthful statement, but it does look pretty cool. And then you've got the hinge here, which if you read the description, it says, where's the hinge? Joint allowing for horizontal or vertical movement, frequently used for towing vehicles. So that's a pretty cool application. Maybe in the future you'll be able to, you know, connect and disconnect both ends. So I can maybe take a whole bunch of supplies out to a location by towing it and then unhinge it and then connect it later on. But one interesting thing that I noticed about the although the hinge has it too, so it might not be an entirely true statement. What I was originally thinking is the generator says, let's see if I bring it all the way around here. So the generator is supposed to be producing about 80 watts of electricity. And what I had noticed when I select the generator, or the rotating plate, it has two plates connected via a ball bearing used for windmills and similar spinning construction. So especially kind of zero in on the windmill piece, I was thinking with the lightning bolt under or to the right of the weight there grayed out, I was thinking, okay, so maybe with elements being a huge factor of the game, that this can be used to generate energy, and you would store it in maybe like some sort of like a battery or power storage type system. So I was thinking is the amount of energy produced would be dependent in a windmill configuration on the amount of wind in the environment, and maybe that's why it was originally grayed out as 0. But what I'm looking at right here is the Hinge also has the little lightning bolt for producing energy, but I don't think a Hinge would produce energy. So maybe that's just kind of one of those gamisms. I think it would be pretty cool if we saw a rotating plate producing energy from friction, and it could be stored in a battery cell type system, but maybe, who knows? The game is still very, very early access. Alright, Nomads, that's going to wrap things up for the part 2 of our first look at Planet Nomads in the closed alpha. Again, it's not even version 1, it's version 0 or 0.3.1. Overall, I think the game looks incredible, and I'm super excited to see where the game goes in the future. If this is where we're sitting at, we're not even at version 1. Hey, this is going to be pretty sweet. So the developers have been talking about rolling out weekly updates. I imagine these first few are going to be primarily driven toward bug fixes. I've seen on the forum that there's been a few of them. Hopefully, I haven't seen anything too catastrophic, minus a couple memory leaks and whatnot, but everything seems to be relatively small. Again, I'm no game designer, I don't know anything about coding, but nothing significant. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit like, leave a comment down below, and please subscribe. I plan on having updates for Planet Nomads coming out almost as frequently as the developers. So look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.